Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Weekend Winners in association with BetVictor as we preview the best of the action from Super Saturday, including races from Ascot, York and Newmarket, which features the Group 1 July Cup. Being joined back in the studio by Declan Rix and Sam Boswell. Sam, we've just been comparing notes, not on horses, on gigs this week. My voice is all of a sudden not sounding so great as soon as we started pressing record there, but you were at Oasis in the week. How was that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. If you're going to Manchester this weekend, you're going to have a great time. Felt very lucky to be there in Cardiff for night 2. Yeah, good luck if you're going. If you're trying to get tickets still, do try and get them. It was amazing. Definitely,
sign him up. And also, you're in good form as well. You're bidding for a nap trick, I believe, are you?
I am, although Rixie off air was giving me plenty of stick about how short the prices were, but Candlefield was a nice drifter anyway, to say the least, going off 2 to 1. So
yeah, but
we'll
you put it up at 4 to 6. No best odds guaranteed on a Thursday.
Doesn't matter. We're taking SP. We're taking SP when it favours us in that way. Yeah, when it suits us.
He was slagging me about doing some work for the show on a Monday, so I'm giving him pelters back now. Yeah.
There you go. Right, we started the show as we mean to go on. How are you in
I'm not
volatile
great.
form?
Yeah, not great at the moment. Didn't sleep well last night. Sweating like Highland Reel in that bed. I was.
So you decided to wear more layers as a result.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Well, actually, that was part of the problem. I forgot to put together a little outfit, So it just kind of just stuck this on. If I didn't have the jacket, it would have been a bit too casual, I think. So here we are.
There you go. That was a full rundown for your thinking behind your outfit, which is what everyone was tuning in for. I'm positive of that. Right, we will get stuck into some horse racing in due course. But of course, a reminder as ever to please do gamble responsibly. Our tips are not guaranteed to win, but we will still do our best to point you in the right direction. Right, on with the racing. And we begin at Ascot with the 2:22. This is the Group 2 Summer Mile Stakes. 4-year-olds and over 1 mile. My Cloud 3 to 1 joint favourite, Never So Brave, joining him as well here, Dec.
Yeah, I think this is a really good renewal. Plenty of strength and depth here. We've got 3 Royal Ascot winners coming back. Hatem, Never So Brave and My Cloud all won at the Royal meeting about 3 weeks ago. So it looks a good race. I'm happy to take on My Cloud. He did win a handicap last time out, and I think this is a big step up. Although the horse I'm with actually did win a handicap as well last time out. But
fickle.
Yeah, exactly. But Never So Brave won a handicap of 105, carrying 9 stone 12. I thought that was a huge performance in the Buckingham Palace. He beat the runner-up Silly, as we're going to see now, and then the runner-up beat the third Silly, and it just looks really strong form. And he's got course form here at Ascot, although this race will be run on the round mile, and that is going to be the question mark with him, isn't it? Going up in trip, because this was obviously 7 furlongs. He's going up to a mile, so we're going to have to see how he goes. He does have a pretty quick pedigree, so it is a worry going up in trip. He's by no name never out of a quick dam. But looking at his striding analysis, if he settles, I think he can stay. And just look how strong he's hitting the line here. He's hit the line really well. Just in terms of pace in the race, I think Point Linus, the oddball, will probably go forward unless Jamie Spencer decides to switch it up. And I suspect he'll be followed by Quida and Hatem, especially Hatem, who's dropping in trip after winning over 10 last time out. So I think the pace of the race will suit David Probert in just helping him get the horse settled. So as long as he gets cover, I think there'll be few better travelling stronger than him 2 out. I'm just hoping he stays the trip. I absolutely have no doubt he's good enough to win, so if he stays.
The trip and the course as well. I say there's 2 question marks that hang over him here, because of course we are on the round course for this mile distance. Defending champion Coudoir in here at 7 to 2 as well. So few question marks over some of these, Sam.
Yeah, there is, but I'm in full agreement with Declan. I think this market will change. Obviously, at the moment, we couldn't really split these sort of front 4 in the betting, but I'm fairly convinced Never So Brave will go off favourite here. I just think you look at the case Declan's made, you add in the form of the yard at the moment, which is exceptional. Andrew Baldy's won a couple of renewals of this particular race, and I just think those Sir Michael Stout horses just are continuing to improve. And this performance...
What have you got against Sir Michael Stout?
Look...
This has been going on since Royal Ascot.
If a man enjoys retirement...
He leaves the great man alone.
Look, it's plain facts, and this performance was suitably impressive, wasn't it, at Royal Ascot? And I think it's fair to say everyone was impressed, whoever you follow for ratings and things like that, RPRs, whatever you want to call them. This really did tick so many boxes. I suppose question mark wise is hopefully you're going to need more to come here, but the trend of this race does tend to go to a younger horse, so it puts me off a little bit. Last year's winner Kadara coming back here. Hartem, I don't know. I don't know if I like the drop in Trip, and I know you're going to make the case for Hartem, Kate. So I'll let you step in a minute. But I just felt like this is the horse that will shorten in the betting. I think this is the price to take right now, because I'd be really, really disappointed if he doesn't end up a bit shorter. But My Cloud, brilliant winner. I suppose Sylvester got the gaps when he needed it, didn't he? But I just think of the pair. I thought Never So Brave just has a bit more upside.
It's going to be a big weekend for those colours as well, isn't it? In the blue and yellow there. There are chances all over the shop on Super Saturday across a whole load of meetings. But the pair of you two in agreement then, Never So Brave, 3-1. Interesting if he does go off as favourite. But as you beautifully teed up there, Sam, I am with Hartem here at 4-1, which I just think is a very fair price about such a classy horse. I did side with him at Royal Ascot last time out after time clang, but I was so concerned because he was so weak in the betting and I couldn't understand why. And regular stateside viewers will know that when we talk about horses that drop significantly in grade, it's not always a positive because it's slightly concerning why they're having to be dropped. I know it was only to listed level, but of course he disappointed at Longchamp, and then you thought, OK, perhaps Connections didn't just see that as a one-off because they kept him to listed company again in the Wolferton Stakes, as you've both said there, over the 10 furlongs. But he was just so much happier on a sounder surface than he was on his previous start, showing he retains all his old ability. Now, he was due to go for the Eclipse after that, but perhaps it just came a bit too soon. So I'm actually glad that he's coming here because I still believe that a mile is his best trip. He's got round course form. He's got plenty of Ascot form, as we know. He's a class angle. Yes, he's stepping up in grade, but we know what he's capable of at his absolute best. So Hartem for me at 4-1 was a bit of a gimme in this race.
I love the way when Sam mentioned his name, you kind of let out like a gush. It's like kind of like your heart was melting.
He's so, he's just
he is a cool horse.
He's one of the most popular horses in training. He has to be, sure.
I'll be honest with you, I thought he was gone at the game. I thought that injury he picked up and he was gone, but he bounced back at Royal Ascot. And nice that Shawnee Levy gets to throw his leg across him again with James Doyle obviously on duty at Newmarket.
Well said. Yes, 4-1 then about Hartem, but the pair of you two with Never So Brave. Do let us know in the comments section below who you fancy as we move up to York now for the 3:10. This is the John Smith's Cup Handicap Stakes, a heritage handicap, 3-year-olds and over 10 furlongs. So this is York's feature, £200,000 worth as well. Archivist bidding to give William Haggis a 4th success in the race, Sam.
Yeah, interesting sort of horse to try and dissect, Archivist. Obviously, being that bit younger than what we'd be used to seeing in here, but there's not enough to really go on to rule a horse out on an age stat, I don't think. Has got the good draw as well in comparison to Thunder Run, who I think if you backed him anti-post, you'd be disappointed to see where he's ended up. Archivist being that bit closer. What I thought was interesting, I went back and read Connections' comments after the horse won at York last time out, just getting up, and it was, we think this race will come too soon and we're going to stay at a mile. Obviously, they've thrown that out the window. So in the preceding 2 weeks, my assumption is, and I'm going with a half-full approach here, that they're going to roll the dice because clearly at home he's doing something right. He's clearly in good form, fine fettle, and that they wanted to come here and they're going to take their opportunity too. 130 is short in a race of this competitive nature, but I do think he's really exciting. I think the way that the horse finished his race, there's so much more to come. Trip doesn't bother me. I think he's a fair favourite, the right favourite, and I think will be popular with punters on the day as well. I can see plenty of people wanting to get stuck in. Of the rest, I struggle to really... I can't really forgive Hand of God for earlier on in the season. 8-1's probably a fair price. So if either of you two like that horse, that'd probably be where I'd be thinking about Sabre. But I came down on the favourite, unoriginal pick, but a really exciting profile. Yeah,
really exciting. We knew that he was going to go for this, didn't we, after he had to basically qualify for this with that success last time out. But they just sort of, afterwards, Maureen Haggis poured kind of cold water on it and was really suggesting, well, you know... Do you think they were expecting a bigger performance on the day from him? Maybe. Trip, but would you say Trip was probably the reason why it wasn't going? I think it was pace. I don't think they went hard enough for him. One, it didn't help him settle. And two, he obviously shapes like a horse who'll stay 10 furlongs. So maybe it was that. But if they're rolling the dice, it's like no better team, really. They have very few peers in terms of rolling the big dice. And I hear that they love York as well. Again, I feel like I'm the first person who uttered that. But Archivist at 130, this has been the plan for him, Dex. So Sam is confident with him. Are you likewise? I'm not. I'm happy to take him on. I'd be a little bit worried about him going up in Trip, given how gassy he was last time out. He's drawn perfectly, though. I think he's drawn in 6.
But two other horses to the front of the market, Thunder Run and Fox Legacy, who hold two good form chances, they're drawn quite wide. And that first bend now on the 10 furlong track there at York comes up very, very quick. So there was a couple here I wanted to take on at the market. And look, I'm going to have two swings in this race, if I'm allowed. One will be See That Storm, and another one will be Romeo down at the bottom there, 12-1. See That Storm, obviously, as the price suggests, is probably the stronger fancy. And look, I like this horse. He got himself into a bit of a muck sweat last time out when he ran at York here, but it didn't stop him running a big race. And, you know, it was a race run at a decent gallop in parts, and he was just a little bit on it, and I think he did a little bit too much and flattered and kind of flattened out in the final furlong. I don't see as much pace in this race, so if Callum Rodriguez can get him into a nice posse from his draw, I think in 10, in a more tactical run race, he's a horse blessed with a lot of pace. I think he will take a little bit of stop, and he especially given he's got that York form, as we always say, it counts for plenty here. But the other horse I give a shout to at the price is obviously Romeo. Now, he's got course form here. He did run here 3 starts back against a horse called Old Cock trained by Edward Bethel, who obviously trains See That Storm. And that form doesn't entitle him to win here, but what he did next time out at Newcastle, that definitely puts him in the ballpark. He was really unlucky last time out. He got trapped up against the rail here, and once he got out, he ran on really nicely. But that York run was over 8 furlongs. This was over 10, and I think that the 10 furlong trip definitely suits him better. He's by Lope de Vega, and he's out of a really good Godolphin mare. He's actually a cast-off from Godolphin. Used to be trained in France by André Farr, but he's been picked up by the Adrian Keatley team, and I think he's a really nice horse for them to pick up. I think they'll have lots of big days with him. But given Elizabeth Gale, who's a jockey really making waves this season, given she takes off a further £5 off his back, I think he's well handicapped. The only worry I would have is the quick round at York. You know, if they got a shower, they put plenty of water down. I think that would definitely suit him because he's by Lope de Vega. But I think in terms of weights and figures and measures and all that, he's definitely handicapped to win a race like this if he handles the quicker ground.
Okay, you're allowed 2 selections. I mean,
Mucho
it is
gracias.
a very
At
valuable...
the prices, we'll let him.
Yeah, at the price, I know.
Big prices for you, aren't they, Sammy?
Here we go. He's actually just been nice here, and he straight away shoved it back in his face.
I'm still remembering the grief he was giving in the office this morning.
I know how Noel Gallagher feels now.
This actually is all right. Yeah, the pair of you two in bucket hats next week, please. One of you with a pair of maracas.
Well, if I'm Liam, I'll take that. Definitely the cooler of the two boys.
Right, we'll let you two fight that out. So you've got 2 selections for you. Sam then with just the one with Archivist, who I love. And again, after time in Clank, napped him when he won last time out. Not that I was all that confident.
2 in 1 show. 3 strikes, you're out, Tracey. 3 strikes, you were out.
Oh, stay tuned, see if we go again then. But Archivist, though, my nap last time out. And yeah, it wasn't a massively convincing success as such, but it was just mainly the trip. Pace angle as well, that probably meant that he couldn't be as impressive as he wanted. We kind of knew, well, had the feeling that this was going to be his main target, but as I say, no one's kind of missed that really. And at 100 to 30, I'm going to let him go. Well, no, I'll have a little bit on him, but I'm going to let him mainly, for the purposes of this show, let him win at that. Ran the trends, odds, and at Hand of God, it was 8-1 who came good then. So, Sam, I know that you've shelved him now, but I'm still hoping that there is plenty of upside to this horse because, of course, he also ran at Royal Ascot last time out, finishing 6th of 20. This was in the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes, handicap over 1.4 miles. I actually thought that this was a decent run behind Ethical Diamond. Now, he just didn't have the best of preps for this race, though, and that perhaps just showed late on because he just started to tire in the closing stages. But, of course, this was over 1.4 miles. So he is down in trip now at 2:10 furlongs. And I really like that angle because the way he's travelled into it, and just look at the stronger stayer there, Ethical Diamond, managing to pull away from him. And as I say, with a less than ideal prep as well, I can be massively forgiving of this. And I know that he hasn't shown much in his 2 runs following the gelding operation, but he still showed enough last time out that I'm not going to give up on him just yet. I feel like he's allowed at least one more strike.
Here comes the pelters. Go on.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I've got a left field positive for you, Kate.
Oh, okay.
I was at Newmarket when he was backed off the boards to win on seasonal reappearance. What did he go off? Saying like 2-1, 30-8, I don't know, something like that. I don't know, he didn't strike me in the parade ring as looking ready to win, and maybe obviously needed that run. Obviously then went to Ascot, so maybe I'm trying to be positive for the sake of being positive, but I struggled to forgive that run mainly because I was on that day.
I could add a little bit more to Ken Pitterson here with his analysis in the paddock. We did a horse to follow piece on AtTheRaces.com at the start of the season, and Sam Haggis, Hand of God was his horse to follow at the start of the year, so I thought that was interesting because Sam's obviously a fairly good judge and does well for himself buying and selling horse, so I thought that was interesting.
Thanks, Gallagher Brothers. There you go. So yeah, a couple of positives that I was not expecting from the pair of you.
All right, you sound like Blur over there.
I'll take that. Yeah, Hand of God then at 8-1 for me. Further bolstered by these two. Do let us know in the comment section below who you fancy for the John Smith's Cup. Now we're going to move to Newmarket, to the July course as well. This is the 250, the Bunbury Cup Heritage Handicap, 3-year-olds and over 7 furlongs. So another valuable handicap that we've got to go at. More Thunder it is, who seeks redemption after his narrow defeat in the Wokingham, but he is a sure price. Sam, you were with him at Royal Ascot. Are you sticking or twisting?
I feel a bit sick thinking about it, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, that's a twist.
That was horrible. No, we're going to go in again and get the money back. 7-4, yeah, it's short enough, isn't it? But you know, we've only got, what, 13 runners in here. It is a smaller than expected
I think
field.
that will be a big help for him, the smaller field. You know, even if he sits last in this kind of 13-runner field, he's not going to be 9 lengths kind of off the pace like he was maybe at Royal Ascot.
Can you assure me that he'll be all right where he's drawn, though, Deck, in terms of pace?
The draw, I think, would be a little bit of a worry. I think I was just kind of looking at the draw. I think the two really speed horses early will be He's a Monster and Dark 30. I think they're drawn in 4 and 11, and I thought drawing between 4 and 11 was going to be ideal, and he's obviously drawn in 13. But I think Tom Marquand will be taking him back anyway, won't he? Just sometimes when horses are drawn in the outside stall, they can be really slowly away. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens with him. I'm going to jump in here ahead of you, Sam, just quickly. But this horse is an absolute menace to society. I swear, he'd done me for a few quid on a ram at Newmarket a while back, and then I put an out in run and punt in him at 20-1 at Royal Ascot, which was matched. So I was once the bet was matched, I was screaming for him to come home, and then he didn't get up on the line.
Just to relive it.
Yes, he's an absolute menace. But anyway, I've said my part. Now it's up to you, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what happens next, don't we, at this point? And making me rewatch it is a sick joke. But yeah, look, listen. As far as my eyes are concerned, this is basically the best horse in the race. He's 7-4. I think that's a tight enough price, but it's a smallish field for a Bunbury Cup, isn't it? So 7-4 is not going to put me off too much. There's not going to, touch wood, be nearly as much traffic as he encountered on this day. I'm sure Tom will accept that wasn't his finest hour. It's one of those things that does happen at Royal Ascot. But guess what?
Is well harsh.
We're not at Royal Ascot now.
Come on.
We're going to be at Newmarket.
Sir Michael Stoute, Tom Marquand, all catching strays.
We're going to get
that is the third ex-Sir Michael Stoute horse that you've tipped up now.
Well,
the trends are there for you.
Send more money, system working, hopefully. The other ones just to mention in here while we're having a quick chat, I think My Isle should win an award for almost like Horse of the Season, won twice, just continually improves. Like, what a fantastic story that's been. Sheen booked to ride there. But yeah, I came down on the favourite, unoriginal again, I know, sorry about that. But I want my money back for the last day.
And lots of people want their money back after the last day. And I know people were commenting that maybe we've got this smaller field size for the Bunbury Cup because of More Thunder being in here, because he may be a good thing for this.
Is he officially £3 well in?
Yeah, and lots of people were with him. Yes, last time out and trying to recoup some of that. So hopefully they will be able to do so or not.
Look, he's absolutely the horse to beat, and I can see why he's that short. Look, kind of everything about him suggests even going back up to 7 furlongs will suit. You know, his horse has actually run over 10 furlongs earlier in his career, and I think William Haggis said at the start of the season he only started him over 6 because he was just too gassy and keen at home, and they just wanted to kind of get a run into him. He ended up winning, and you know he'd been doing well to win the tracks like Newmarket. You know, tend to favour speed horses, and that's why I think at Ascot both you and Sam thought it'd really suit him, the stiffer 6, but Get It just got away on the lead. But look, he is the horse to beat. I'm going to have a little bit of a swing here on good old Dark 30 of the Richard Hannon team. You know, the Hannons have had their horses in good order all season, and this guy was actually third in a Superlative Stakes as a 2-year-old over this course and distance. He's a course and distance winner as well, and he's got plenty of pace to lead this field. He'd be a dangerous horse now to leave alone on the the front end. He's a really likeable game, straightforward horse, likes fast ground, and this was him winning at the start of the season at Doncaster. And there's been 5 individual winners come from this race, so the race has worked out well. And even though he's getting on a little bit now as a 5-year-old, you can just see him here. He's got a great attitude. He'll fight hard, and I just think he'll put Billy Loughnane into a really good position. And prominent racers at the July course, especially on that quick ground, can take a little bit of pegging back. Now look, there's other horses in here with sexier profiles, but he does come here on the back of a winning effort at Salisbury a couple of weeks ago, which makes life a little bit tougher. But like I say, if the track is kind of favouring those horses on the front end, I think he'll give you a run with his money. So I'll be having a few quid each way on Dark 30, and I'll also be taking my medicine by having a few quid on him without More Thunder and the Without Market as well.
There you go. He loves the Without.
The Declan Rix market, as we call it at work.
The Rixy market there.
There we go. That's my contribution to the betting industry. There we go. I'll take that.
8-1 with BetVictor.
And when we lose betting, we support the levy, so it's a win-win, lad. I love this game.
Oh, I know.
8-1 betting without. There you go.
Happy days.
8-1 with BetVictor. There you go. Happy with that?
A little filthy each way bet on that as well.
Yep, and 14-1 each way then as well for Dark 30 for Rixy. Now, I'm pleased that one of you mentioned my horse earlier on, my Al.
Yeah.
Sam was talking about him. I feel like I'm going down just really likeable horse routes for this weekend. Hartem, my Al now at 11-1. And as you say, he's just been such a likeable, wonderful, consistent, solid horse this season. For his price doesn't always reflect that. We saw that last time out of Royal Ascot when, again, he ran a mighty race. He finished 4th in the Buckingham Palace Stakes in the handicap over 7 furlongs. And he was trying to get back to the winning ways as seen on his penultimate start as we now know it, which came at Chester. But last time out, as I say, it was a very fair effort for him. 18-1 for the Buckingham Palace Stakes. Now, he finished 4th behind Never So Brave, beaten less than 6 lengths. Now, he had his old rival, Holguin, reversing the form from Chester with him on this occasion. But for those who to finish 3rd and 4th at Royal Ascot, after finishing 1st and 3rd, with the Royal Ascot winner finishing 2nd at Chester. So that was the key piece of form from Chester. The form just looks solid. It all makes perfect sense. So the £5 rise perhaps just caught him out at Royal Ascot for my Al, but all the same, he's off the same mark this time around. On another day, that Chester form could easily have been upheld.
And he might get a little form boost earlier. Well, Sam and I are hoping, so Never So Brave win today.
Exactly, all intertwined. This is what we want from a Super Saturday, isn't
Related contingency multiples there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that also affects Acadian Thunder as well, doesn't it? Because he was in that race as well.
Yes, exactly. Like I say, we've got the whole load of them. I hope
the whole caboodle.
I hope it doesn't give Acadian Thunder a form boost, though, all the same. But yeah, my Al, though, would be the play for me. Again, just relatively forgotten about at 11-1, and the fact that he's in great order and running off the same mark as well. So again, disagreement there in the Bunbury Cup. Again, do let us know your selections in the comments section below. Whilst you're there, hit subscribe and also the bell notification so you never miss an episode. As we move on now to the feature race of the weekend at Newmarket, the 4:35, the Group 1 July Cup Stakes. 3-year-olds and over 6 furlongs. So notable speech heads away at 11-4. Down and Trip, supplemented for this deck. 6 furlong Group 1 sprinters we've got to go at yet again.
Oh, this is such... to be fair, he's a really fascinating supplementary entry, isn't he? And we should also mention Spy Chief was also supplemented, who's in the same ownership. And I was wondering, were they going to potentially use Spy Chief as a pacemaker? But I don't think the draw has done them any favours, because Spy Chief is drawn really high and Notable Speech is drawn really low. So we're going to have to see how this all plays out. But yeah, look, Notable Speech definitely does add to this race, especially if he adapts to this. Because look, I'm just going to be honest, it's a dreadful renewal of the race. It really is. Notable Speech does add some class. And, I've been waiting for them to drop him down in Trip for quite a while, because he's got plenty of pace and he strides like a sprinter. But I was kind of hoping they'd go 7 first, not go to a 6 furlong with a downhill section. So I'm happy to take on Notable Speech for all. He is absolutely the best horse in the race. Flora Bermuda is the most solid one at the front of the market. But, could she maybe want the ground a little bit softer? And she did peak kind of late last season as well. well. Whistle Jacket, I think that definitely wants the ground a good bit softer. I don't think he liked this track, even though he won't like this track on this ground, I should say. I think he probably wants a stiff 6 or even 7 now. Inisherin is very hot and cold. I don't think this track is going to play to his strengths. Symbol of Honour hated the Rolly Mile. He's a giant striding horse. He strides over 27 feet, which is massive. So I think a flat track or a stiff incline is going to suit him. I don't think he liked the track. Believing what's happening with her, she really had a blip last time out, which is unlike her, because she's usually so consistent. It just looked to me like a race to have a big swing in, and I'm going to have a swing here with no half measures of Richard Hughes. Now look, she needs to improve, absolutely, but she's a course winner here, and she's got early pace to lead this field. I think what she did in the Achilles Stakes was a good run. She has the pace to lead early. She was unlucky that day as well, didn't get any cover both in front, and there was a diagonal side wind as well, and the horse that beat her, Balmore Lady, got a nice run up the inside. But we go back to her run in the Abbey last year. You know, she was only, I think, a length and a quarter behind Believing, who's obviously not probably really strongly fancy for the race, but she's a much shorter price. And I just think every time I've seen no half measures run over 5, she always looks like she's just a little bit in top gear, and I think going back up to 6 will really suit her. And look, she's a massive price. I think she was 80 to 1 there with BetVictor at one stage. I don't know what she is there at the prices now at the moment, but she's well drawn in 15. I think the last 10 winners of the July Cup have been drawn 11, 9, 14, 4, 9, 12, 12, 6, 16 and 7. So it looks like she's well drawn. She's definitely got the pace to lead early here, and she's put Neil Callan into a good position. So look, I think there'll be few travelling better than her going down that downhill run. Whether or not she's classy enough to win, it'd be really disappointing. But we did have a horse rated 105 win the Group 1 at Royal Ascot this year, the King Charles III. So look, stranger things have happened.
66 to 1.
66. So there's been a little bit of a nibble for her.
4 places as well.
4 places as well, exactly. So yeah. I just think there's so many doubts about horses to the front of the market here. It's a race to have a swing in. And I forgot to say, Night Raider looks like an all-weather horse. There's another one to have a dig at. Just to throw,
more digs, more cold water thrown on a few of these horses. Night Raider not missing out on that either, but 66 to 1 chance.
I feel like I've just insulted the entire July Cup field, so I do apologise.
Sprinters in this country, no one is safe from Rixie's wrath. Sam, which of these sprinters wins this time around?
Well, I'm just pleased that mine's not on the graphic, so Rixie can't have a pop. I thought he'd be really impressed that I've not tipped a favourite for once. So, notable speech for me. I definitely think 11 to 4, I can leave that price well alone. Just too short for me. If it wins, it wins, and I'll look maybe not silly, but 11 to 4 is just too tight. But one that's not on here that I quite like is Jasor, who I think is just one of those Clive Cox horses.
No chance.
No chance. Here we go.
He has not avoided the RAF after all.
Another horse is going to hate the track one. Carry on.
Even though one at Group 2 on the track. No.
What was that? 3 years ago?
Well, yeah, a little while ago, but
got more up to date evidence, mate.
All right, ran respectably in this race 12 months ago and finishing all right midfield. But I just really like the horse the way it's been campaigned. So started off at Haydock this season and bombed out when favourite, but entitled to need that run. Really, just look, it's a comeback run, isn't it? So blows the cobwebs away. Clive runs it twice at Royal Ascot in the week, which I think shows that it's a really good sort of solid horse, the fact that you can back up, because the second run was probably better than the first over the trip, which I think should suggest to me that 6 is right. And you know, plenty of people are going to make the case for Inisherin here at 7 to 1. Jasor's 20s. I don't think there's that much between them, as this run will be evidence here for me. I just kind of felt like at 20s, 4 places in what is a strange division at the moment. Weeks may be fair, but I think it's just a really odd place, isn't it, sprinting at the moment. So I wouldn't be shocked if Jasor can make the frame here at a track that I think the horse will enjoy, as testament to previous results here.
And he's a cliff horse of mine, but I've stepped away.
So many people.
So you've got some bias against him.
I have some history with this horse, but I have stepped away from the edge quite a long time ago. Thank God.
Well, I'm going straight over the top.
Just keep going over that edge. Yeah, loads of people were with him, weren't they, at Royal Ascot with the fitting of the hood then finally as well.
Tongue tie as well, I think, has gone on.
Yeah, and like I say, just trying to add more bits. But again, the Clive Cox form is there. I mean, obviously, poor old Ghostwriter then wearing over the pre-program yesterday, which was such a shame.
Don't forget, Clive's won this twice as well. You know, this is if you were to pigeonhole a trainer, 6 furlong sprinters, that's Clive.
Yeah, exactly that. Like I say, he's the man for the sprinters. And yeah, he's going to come, well, I say he's going to come good at some point. I actually have no idea if he is, but he won't be carrying my cash, though, if he does all the same.
Right, come on. I want to know your horse so I can throw stones at it.
No, because mine was going to be so easy to throw stones at. It's like the easiest horse to throw stones at. It's Inisherin.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I know. Again, I agree. Right, let me just start. Okay. Notable speech. Again, agree with the pair of you two. Classiest horse in the race, most ability in the race. He's never even run over this trip before. He's been, what, a mile his entire
I don't
career?
think he's even run over 7, yeah.
No, exactly. So dropping down 2 furlongs from anything he's ever known. Yes, he is the best horse in the race, but it's still quite an ask for all that the sprinting division just isn't what we would hope or expect it to be. But if he's run off his feet early, I mean, it's not an easy place to be trying to make up that ground from off of the pace if you're well out of your ground. Inisherin then, Centrefor's favourite for this race last year. I admit, he has got a very in-and-out profile nowadays. When he is on song, though, he is one of the best sprinters around. And it is just that thing of chancing him to show himself at his best once again. Now, we're getting to see Jasor again here without a hood this time around.
I did back him this day.
It was the day you were with him, actually, wasn't it? Yeah. Happy memories. Now, he was first in the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup over the 6 furlongs, of course, last season. Now, this was really when he was very much at his best. And he was supplemented for this race as well. And he just looked even better than ever, facing a sounder surface, which had been a question mark, if you remember rightly, at this stage of his career.
Look how he strides. I don't know how to say this kind of properly, but he looks like the slowest sprinter ever.
Yes, he doesn't look...
He strides like a 3-mile chaser or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He defies all logic because his pedigree suggests that he should want a mile or further. He doesn't look like it. He doesn't stride out like a sprinter. Nothing makes sense about him. So I'm actually not surprised he's got this in-and-out profile. But again, last time out, though, was disappointing from him in the QE2 Jubilee Stakes on the back of his brilliant York success. We thought, right, we've got him back again now. And then he goes and does that. So you are wanting a bit of a price about him, and 13-2 in an open division, I thought was fair.
Does he make
in first-time cheek pieces, which could maybe spark him back to life?
Exactly, just to get that consistency.
Win-only bet, or would you play him each way?
No, he's a win-only.
Yeah, see, to me, that's a definition of a win-only.
Yeah, even at 13-2. The carrot's being dangled for the each way, but like you say, he is just such an in-and-out horse.
Win bet, play sleigh. There you go, Kate.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly, yeah. You can keep your without markets. We've got a whole different market that we can go with, but it is just a mad race.
It is mad. It's bonkers.
I can't wait for it. I've got to have a little bit on Flora Bermuda because I was with her last time.
I think she's the most solid one.
Yeah.
And if the vibes about her are good and not so good about Notable Speech, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise if she went off Fav, I think.
Be interesting to see. Oh, not agreement?
Charlie will be having such a good time of things.
Charlie, not your mate.
Oh, all right. Nor are you.
What a nibble that was.
I think Notable Speech will go off favourite unless something very dramatic's happened. I just think Charlie Appleby's form on that course in the last couple of days we'll see plenty of people backing him.
And the Appleby family well represented because Charlie's brother Mick runs Big Mojo. No? Sorry about that.
Right, we better leave the Sky Pad at this point and head over to the sofa to give you our best bets for the weekend. It's time for our best bets of the weekend. Deck, you are up first.
I am up first, allegedly. I've just noticed there my Nap, my Next Best and my Long Shot are all running in races with Cup in it. So
fascinating.
There we go. Right, the Nap is going to be See That Storm in the John Smith's Cup. As I said on the show, really like him. Course and distance form. I think this race will suit up well for him. Hopefully Callum Rodriguez can track the pace. He's got loads of gears, this horse, and hopefully he will take a bit of pegging back at York. Now, the Next Best is also going to be at York. It's Table Talk in the Silver Cup. Now, I was with him last time out at Royal Ascot, and a bit of a strange run. He was so cold coming out of the gates. Like, I knew I was bet after a furlong, so I'm just hoping that he had a little bit of an off day and there's nothing kind of more sinister there. Again, he's another horse with York form in the book, and he steps up in trip, and I think that will suit. And then the Long Shot, it's got to be no half measures in the July Cup. I just think it's a race to have a big swing at. She's got course form. I've been waiting for her to go back over 6. She's got the style for the race as well, prominent racer, and if it's if she can get to the far rail and there's a little bit of a bias there, maybe her and Neil Callan will take a bit of catching.
Best of luck with your cups then this weekend. Sam, how many are you in any cups for your best bets this weekend?
Yes, a couple.
Oh, a couple. I like it. Yeah, you're playing the game now.
Yes. We'll move to my nap, shall we? Which is more important because we're going to go to York to the Silver Cup, where there's only a few runners in here. Actually, it looks a bit of a match between Alquada and Table Talk that I really like. I think this horse has got fantastic form at York. The trip will definitely suit. The ground will suit. Tom Clover's been a little bit quiet in the last few days, but
yeah? What have you ever done?
But I think Rosser booked to ride is a really, really, really big positive. Yeah. And I think he'll take all the beatings around a 2-to-1 shot, so Deck will probably give you some stick. But if we get 3 in a row, we get 3 in a row.
He's fighting.
He's trying not to.
No.
Right. We'll move forward then to my next best, which is going to be Never So Brave, one that Rixie does agree with me on. I'm really convinced that this horse is the one to side with in what looks an interesting Group 2. I've seen a few people say it's not that strong. I thought it was quite a potentially good race on paper, but there we go. Maybe we're optimists this week, unlike those pessimists out there. Yeah, handicap performance of the week at Royal Ascot, and I'm just convinced that there could be more in the tank at this kind of level. And then finally, I'm going to put Jasor up as my long shot. I know this horse, perhaps it's been a while between drinks. He's going to give you some more stick about it, but I think the track suits, I think the trip suits, and Clive Cox is the man to side with. Come on, give me a stick.
Okay, up next.
Yeah, no notes. He's got no notes. I could tell by his expression he had nothing to say at any point there. Best of luck. Well done, you. You've managed to restrain yourself there. Very impressively done.
First time for everything.
Finish the show being professional, you know.
we may as well get to there at some point, mightn't we? Right, my own best bets. Mayal. I'm going for a big price nap then this weekend in the Bunbury Cup. So there you go. Cup for me as well. 11-to-1 shot at 250 at Newmarket. Really like him at the prices here. And again, he is ticking most of the trend boxes in his bid to get back to winning ways, as seen on that penultimate start at Chester. Last time out, though, very fair effort in itself. Centre for 18-to-1 for the Buckingham Palace Stakes, finishing fourth behind Never So Brave. Form just looks strong, makes sense. Same mark here, good draw for options, and he's in great order. Hartem has to go in as the next best bet at 4-to-1 in the Group 2 Summer Mile Stakes. Just a wonderful, super likeable horse. Sided with him at Royal Ascot. There you go. There's your Holy Trinity up right there. The hat-trick then for it. On the same horse, technically. Listed Wolferton Stakes, though. Really concerned of how weak he was in the market then. But again, I still think I'm getting a fair price about him here. And clearly, I'm not going to be perturbed by him being a bigger price than I would hope and expect him to be. And also, Soldier's Empire at 50-to-1 now in the John Smith's Cup. And again, spoke earlier on about running the trends for this race. Hand of God was the horse that ticked the most boxes. He was a very close second. It doesn't make much sense on paper, this horse, to be fair. He was actually sent off at 100-to-1 at Royal Ascot in the Royal Hunt Cup. Didn't really run a race. Finished 17th in that. But if you look back at his prior form, the reason he got to the lofty rating of now 99, but of course running off of 101 on Saturday, annoyingly, but was because of his very good Bahrain form. So if he can just sort of acclimatise now back to these shores after Ascot, he is not without a squeak according to the trends at 50-to-1.
Do you pronounce it Bahrain?
Yes.
I pronounce it Bahrain.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Stop showing off.
And, you know, the Spanish guy who plays the tennis?
Alcaraz?
No, it's Alcaraz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone's got a Duolingo subscription these days.
Mr. Worldwide over here.
Duolingo, yeah, I like her songs. Yeah.
Right, let's wrap this show up. Please let us just be gone from the studio at this stage. Lads, thank you so much for your utter chaos and hard work, as per usual. A big thank you to you for sticking with us and watching. Best of luck with your bets this weekend, and we'll see you again next week.